Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're tackling the Sensex and the Nifty 50.
Ah, yes, the big ones.
Yeah, those headline figures that, tell us quite a bit about the Indian stock market.
Mm.
Ever wondered exactly what they track? Or, like, how companies actually make the cut?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's really our mission today, to dig into that,
Exactly. You've probably heard these terms thrown around a lot, maybe in the financial news.
for sure.
And we want to give you a really clear understanding of the fundamental differences, especially how companies qualify, how they get in.
Okay, so let's get right into it then. First up, we have the BSE, the Bombay Stock Exchange,
India's oldest.
right? Established way back, 1875, in Mumbai. And their main index, their gauge, is the Sensex.
Yep, the Sensex. That tracks 30 of India's biggest, most established companies.
30. So it's quite focused then.
It is. That concentration means, well, the performance of just a few of those companies can have a pretty big impact on the index number itself.
Right. And then there's the NSE,
Yep.
the National Stock Exchange.
The newer kid on the block, relatively speaking, started in 1992, also in Mumbai.
And they're known more for electronic trading, right?
That was their big innovation, yeah. And their main index is the Nifty 50, as the name suggests, tracking 50 large Indian companies.
50. Okay. And both exchanges, BSE and NSE, they're regulated by SEBI.
Correct. Securities and Exchange Board of India. They oversee things, ensure fair play. Both exchanges are absolutely vital pillars of India's financial system.
Got it. So let's talk criteria. What does it take for a company to get into the Sensex Club?
Okay, so first things first, it needs to be listed on the BSE. Seems obvious, but that's step one.
And actively traded, I assume.
Very actively traded. They're looking for the giants, too, in terms of market capitalization, basically, the total market value of all their shares.
So size matters.
Size definitely matters. And high trading volume, what we call liquidity. How easily can you buy or sell shares without trouble? That's
Liquidity, right.
And along with that, a high free float market capitalization. That means a good chunk of the shares need to be available for public trading, not locked up by promoters or government.
Ah, okay. So it's not just about being big. It's about shares being actually available to trade easily.
Precisely. And it's not just any 30 big companies. The selection tries to represent different parts of the economy.
Like IT, banking.
Exactly. IT, banking, FMCG, fast-moving consumer goods. They want a good mix, a snapshot of the broader Indian economy.
Makes sense. Anything else?
Yeah. They also look for a consistent trading history, companies that are regularly traded and, importantly, stable financial health. They want solid players.
And this isn't a one-time selection, right? It changes.
Good point, no. It's not set in stone. The Sensex is reviewed and rebalanced semi-annually, so twice a year. Companies can be added, others removed.
Okay, that covers the Sensex. Now, the Nifty 50 on the NSE. Similar logic, but maybe some twists.
You're spot on. Similar foundational ideas, but definitely some key differences. Like the Sensex, companies need to be listed and traded, but on the NSE this time.
Naturally.
High free float market cap is, again, very important. But where the Nifty 50 really distinguishes itself is its intense focus on liquidity.
More so than the Sensex.
Well, they measure it differently. They go beyond just looking at trading volume. They use a specific metric called impact cost.
Impact cost. Okay, you'll need to break that down for us. What exactly is impact cost?
Sure. It's actually quite an interesting way to measure true liquidity, especially for big players like institutional investors.
How so?
Imagine you want to buy or sell a really large block of shares in a company. Impact cost measures how much your big order itself is likely to move the stock's price.
Ah, okay. So if I try to buy a ton of shares, does my buying push the price up just because I'm buying so much?
Exactly. A lower impact cost is better. It means you can execute large trades without significantly disturbing the price, without causing big swings just by trading.
Can you give like an example?
Yeah, sure. Let's say placing a buy order worth 10 lakh causes the stock's average buy price to increase by 0.5% compared to the ideal price. Well, then the impact cost is 0.5%.
Okay, so Nifty wants stocks where even big trades go through smoothly, price-wise.
Precisely. They often prefer stocks with an impact cost below a certain threshold, maybe something like 0.1%, especially for larger trades. It ensures the Nifty 50 stocks are genuinely easy to trade in large volumes without creating volatility.
That's a subtle but important difference in measuring liquidity.
It really is. Other Nifty criteria include the company being based in India, obviously listed on NSE, representing a major sector, and crucially, trading very consistently, like on almost all trading days in the review period.
And reviewed regularly, too.
Yep, just like the Sensex, it's reviewed twice a year, additions, removals, the whole thing.
So let's summarize the key differences then. We've got the obvious one.
The number of companies, 30 for Sensex, 50 for Nifty, so Nifty's a bit broader.
Right, and the big one seems to be how they handle liquidity.
Definitely. Sensex focuses more broadly on trading volume and activity. Nifty uses that stricter impact cost measure.
Meaning, a stock could have high volume, but still be hard to trade in size without moving the price.
That's possible, yeah. High volume doesn't automatically mean low impact cost. So a stock might qualify for Sensex based on volume, but potentially not for Nifty if its impact cost is too high. It emphasizes price stability during large trades.
So putting it all together, Sensex gives a view of 30 top-tier, highly traded firms. Nifty gives a slightly broader view of 50 large firms, with this extra check on, let's call it, smooth large-scale trading.
That's a great way to put it. Both are vital barometers reflecting the health of the Indian market through leading liquid representative companies. But yeah, Nifty aims for that wider scope and stricter liquidity via impact costs.
Okay, so for you listening, the main takeaway here is that while both Sensex and Nifty are crucial indicators for the Indian economy, they aren't identical. They differ in size 30 versus 50 companies, and importantly, in how they assess a stock's liquidity.
Right. Sensex looks at volume, Nifty looks at volume and impact cost, the effect of large trades on price.
It's a nuanced difference.
It is. And maybe just a final thought to leave you with. How might these different approaches, especially Nifty's focus on impact cost, sometimes lead the two indices to paint slightly different pictures of market sentiment or underlying strength? Something to perhaps watch out for next time you see the headlines.